What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. One signing we didn't really talk too much on here on OTB, but I want to get y'all's opinion on is Jaylon Smith. Of course, the former Notre Dame great. He had that brutally awful knee injury was it the semifinal or the national championship? I believe it was in the playoff. Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah,
Maybe
it was late in the season for sure.
It was
one
either
of
the
those.
bowl game or the playoff game. And he got his knee completely blown up. Didn't know if he'd be able to play again. Cowboys take him in the second round. He ends up becoming a Pro Bowler in 2019. And, football's a brutal game, man. The end comes fast. Because then all of a sudden last year, he's on the practice squad for the Giants. Now, he ended up, Jake, for a playoff Giants team, he ended up starting 11 games. And in those 11 games, he notched 88 tackles, 3 tiffles, 1 sack. Like, those are, if you just pace that out, he would have gotten over 100 tackles if he started the entire season. I guess my point is, and already, now that he's with the Saints, he's actually working with the starters. Like him and Zach Bond and Nephi Sewell and DeMarco Jackson, they're kind of rotating, but he has been taking a lot of the reps with the starters. Where do you think the ability of Jaylon Smith is at this point in his career?
Well, I want to throw this one to Taylor. He's the guy that knows him better than any of us because he watched him in Dallas for 5 seasons, okay? So what was the rise and fall like? Like, what happened? Because he made a Pro Bowl in 19, and then you look at 2020, and he still had a really good season, but then he gets released. He only plays 4 games for the Cowboys in 2021. He signs with Green Bay for 2 games. He signs with the Giants for 4 games. So what went from 2019, where you're making the Pro Bowl, and then 2020, where you have 154 tackles, a lot of tackles.
Yeah.
And then you get cut 4 games in.
From the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, no, he did. And actually, statistically, 2018 was his best season. He had 4 sacks from the middle linebacker spot, and his tackles went up every year. So first year, he was coming back from the injury, only played like 6 games, but had 81 tackles in 6 games. What? Then he went.
Wait, what?
He had 81 tackles.
And 6 games started. Yeah,
6 games started.
Oh, 6 games started.
He spotted a little bit, but I mean.
I was about to say, I know a boy ain't just doing like 15 tackles a game.
No. 6 games started. But then he went 121, 142, 154. And I mean, he had like 7 sacks in 5 seasons from the middle linebacker spot. I mean, you can do a lot worse than that. The issue that he had was the year after he was drafted, the Cowboys took Leighton Vander Esch. And, Sean Lee was still on the team that time as well. Jaylon Smith was playing well. Lee gets hurt, so then you have Leighton Vander Esch, Jaylon Smith. You're fine. Smith comes up with an injury again, and then the guy that kind of has injury history at that point, Sean Lee, gets a little bit healthier, and they just kind of moved on from him for whatever reason.
And they did give him a big contract extension,
yeah,
right?
they did after 19.
So, anytime you're paid, though, that gives incentive to them be cut. And the great NFL irony.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, you're paid now? Okay, well, I don't know about you anymore.
Well, because he was a younger guy. He had the injury history with him. They're like, okay, we got Sean Lee, the veteran. Now we got Leighton Vander Esch, the young hotshot. Yeah. So we're good there. They didn't want to pay him all that money. But then, like you said, like you look at what he did last year with the Giants, like I think this guy's a really good player still.
Well, I hope so. I think it is a bit interesting, too, in that joining the Saints, he doesn't have to be the man, right? Marshawn Lattimore's the man. Demario Davis is the man. Cam Jordan's the man still. Every year maybe it stops, but still, I'm still awarding Cam Jordan the man status right now. And so he just needs to be a solid piece. And his numbers, I'm not watching the film, right? Numbers can be misleading, especially the tackle stats a little weird. But the fact that the Giants are pretty good last year, made the playoffs, like the numbers I think would dictate that, yeah, he can be a starter on this defense potentially.
If he's not a starter, though, he's still a good depth piece and someone who has been through the fire before, because there's a reason he wasn't signed yet as well. Like if we're going to lay that out. Now, sometimes the NFL is funky, and you just never know how it's going to play out. And sometimes, like, man, that's a really good player on the street, and this guy's in camp. But there's a reason he wasn't signed, maybe. But he is somebody that played on a playoff team last year and is a thin, very thin position for you.
Yes, true.
So if Demario Davis, Pete Warner go out, and Pete Warner's missed a couple of games the last couple of seasons, you feel much better, or at least I would, with him stepping in than a Zach Bond or even a Jackson, who I think is going to be a good player, but he hasn't had, multiple starts. He didn't have 60 career starts and a Pro Bowl to his name. So even if you just use him as what we said you kind of had to have, because if Demario Davis went down, that was probably going to be the one guy you absolutely could not lose.
True.
So,
and he's dealing with a calf injury right now. He was dressed out yesterday, but still
didn't play the other day. And it's first preseason game. But so I like the signing. And if he doesn't have to start, he can just be insurance. I love it.
Yeah, way more proven than what you have right now behind Warner and Davis, like you guys are saying. And the Saints have done things like this in the past over the years, like bringing veteran guys, Kiko Alonso, Daniel Ellerbe, and others. Maybe Laurinaitis, yeah. So
see, now those comparisons, though, don't draw maybe the most confidence because none of those guys ended up being that solid.
No, but they're experienced. The other guys are not. If anything, it's good competition in practice. One of them will get more playing time than the others.
I think Jaylon Smith has more potential in those names, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. So I also was like super high on Laurinaitis and company when they came over. But either way, the bottom line is exactly what Jake is getting at, where even if he doesn't start, he gives you very experienced depth at a position where you kind of desperately needed some. So good signing by the Black and Gold. Michael says Vander Esch had a neck roll. Enough said. Vander Esch had a neck skyscraper. That thing, it looks like an old Dracula cowl.
He had the Douglas Plus.
Yes, that thing is high.
I mean, meathead. And again, y'all know.
He's not still in the league, huh?
Yeah.
Where's he at now? He's still in Dallas?
Still in Dallas.
Okay.
That's my guy there. I'm a big Vander Esch guy.
Shocked.
Imagine that.
I'm shocked.
You're like the gritty white guy who could have seen it coming.
Well, I can tell you right now, I got a Cowboys jersey coming in, and it's not a Vander Esch jersey.
Whoa. You, who loves the Cowboys, therefore hates the Cowboys, which Cowboy has weaseled into your heart to make you buy a jersey?
Oh, it's Micah Parsons' jersey, dude. It's got to be.
Wait.
Got to be Micah Parsons.
Wait, you have two LSU Tigers starting in the middle of your defense, and you can't even get that jersey?
Okay, so what I hate is because I had 3 jerseys. All the guys got cut or traded.
Damone Clark and Jabril Cox.
Damn, what? Jabril Cox? That's a name I have not thought about in
whenever
a
I order a
Hope as
jersey,
well.
I'm
Shout
like,
out Damone. I haven't thought about Damone in a minute, but Jabril Cox, okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, he was solid
started
last
in
year
the
as
NFL?
well. He was solid last year as well, yeah.
I love when T-Bob has these.
Dude, that's crazy.
No, but when I buy a jersey, I look for longevity. They're paying Micah Parsons. They're not letting him walk out of that building.
That's a solid.
I could wear that jersey for 10 years.
Yeah. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.